Welcome to Sustain 2.0. Sustain 1.0 was held in a closed WhatsApp group chat. And, WhatsApp has some limitations, just 250 participants, and then the stress of typing. And more importantly, the content of Sustain 2.0 is just super good. It's too good for it's too good for a closed WhatsApp group chat. Everyone needs to know this. So you're welcome to Sustain 2.0. So if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Facebook, create watch parties, share the link. Everyone needs to be watching this. And if you're watching on YouTube, share the link. Share to your WhatsApp status, to your Facebook feed. Let everyone be here. Everyone should be here at this point in time. Okay? So there's no better time to talk about children and sex than now. I was checking up statistics and I realized that 771 cases of rape or child abuse have been reported from January to May 2020. So now you can't help but wonder if this number of cases have been recorded from January to May 2020, what is it going to be from May to August? So there's no better time to talk about children and sex than now. If we are going to reduce the number of rape cases and child abuse, then we have to inform parents, let them be well informed in order to inform their children properly about sex, to learn how to respect their body and the body of other people. So it's very important and it is super crucial. To have groomed or informed children, we need to have groomed and informed parents. And to do this, we have decided to talk about children and sex. How do we relate sexual matters to children without feeling awkward, without feeling, that funny feeling when you're trying to talk to children about sex? How do we do this? To do this today, I have with me Inumidu Akanolu. She's a child coach. She's she's the secretary Inspire the Young Network, and she's super good. So just stay tuned. And don't forget, create what parties. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's red and it's just below. And then turn on the bell notification icon. And if you're watching on Facebook, please like this page. And don't forget to send in your questions and your comments. I'm here and I'm just waiting for them. But then if you're watching on YouTube, remember to send in your comments from the live chat session. That's the only way I can see it. If you're watching on Facebook, send in your comments on the page, on Teen Christ Initiative page. That's the only way I can see it. So nothing is stopping us. Let's talk about how to talk to children about sex. So, Ma Inumidu, how do we relate sexual issues to children? I'm all ears and I'm ready to listen.
All right, thank you very much, Eunice. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here this evening. So just as we have heard just now, we're going to be talking about how to talk to children about sex. A few weeks ago, we actually had this topic. We talked about it on the WhatsApp platform, and I'm sure that it was very educative. And I just want us to open our ears and open our minds as we learn this evening. Okay, so this is actually a very interesting topic that is very common. We live in a highly sexualized community.
Yeah.
We live in a place where sex in a jurisdiction and age where sex is talked about so much. And it's very important that we ensure that excuse me, that we ensure that our children actually have the right information. It's not just about having any kind of information, but having the right information. And there is so much more that we can do to ensure that this happens. Now, we said that we live in a highly sexualized community, in a highly sexualized world. Now, a lot of things are out there. We need to make sure that children of today actually have the right things, and they are hearing the right things. Now, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So, what are we teaching our children? As parents, as guardians, what are we teaching our children and what? We are going to be learning about that this evening. So just stay tuned. So I'm going to give in different points, and I want us to listen very attentively. Now, it's very important to note that it is not a one size fits all. Individuals are different. The way you're going to talk to a 2-year-old is very different from the way you're going to talk to a 19-year-old or to a 17-year-old. Yes, they may not be fully adults, they may still be children, but they are different levels of development. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about some different points given by the American Pediatric Association. And so the first point is that do not abstain from educating your children about sex. This shouldn't be oh, this is not something I want my children to hear. I don't want them to, in quote, get spoiled. But this is actually something that we should talk to our children about and very early so that they can know the right thing. Now, if you don't educate them, just as I said, we live in a very sexualized community, a very sexualized world. The media will tell them what they're not supposed to know, or the media will tell them the wrong things, and they may build on that. And what we're trying to avoid is going to be there sitting in your faces. Another thing is that, okay, I'm sorry for the, like, you just have to use this. Okay, so another thing is that we should talk about sex early and often. We shouldn't wait until our children have grown so big before we talk to them, or maybe hoping that they may not understand. Children actually understand from a very young age. So what exactly are we teaching them? Making sure that we're teaching them the right things. Another point, I hope you're really following. Okay. Another point is that we should avoid don'ts. Let's not be too quick to say, don't do this, don't do that. It's very important that we also let them know the good things about sex. What should they know? What are the good things they need to know? It's not all bad. Yeah, sometimes it seems like, oh, it's all bad, it's no good. Actually, it's good. Sex was created by God, and so it is good. He did not create anything bad. It is good. So let them know that it is good. Let them know the whys. Don't just tell them, no, don't do this, don't do that. Okay, sex is good, it is important, it is worth the wait. Why is it worth the wait? Why should we do this? Why should we refrain from such activities? Now, the reason for telling them the whys is that it gives them a better understanding and the need for certain actions and inactions. Okay, so instead of telling them, oh, you're not supposed to do this, it's all bad. As human beings, first of all, when we tell people that don't do this, as human beings, we just want to do the direct opposite. So we need to know why shouldn't we do this? Why should we go ahead? Excuse me. Why should we go ahead and do this particular thing? Okay, you don't want to do this. Why? Okay, so let them know the reason it is good. Let them know the reason you don't want them to do you don't want them to do some certain things, and why that is so. Okay, another thing is the right time and place. I have like very few minutes for this, so I'm trying to speak as quickly as I can. Okay, so the right time and place. Now, children are very inquisitive and they will ask a lot of questions. So we need to know why. Okay. We need to have the right answers to the questions that they ask. Okay, so I was talking with my sister a couple of days ago, and we're talking about how it was that a child was asking the parents about sex, and the parent got all confused, but they did not know that he was actually asking about gender and not necessarily about the sexual intercourse itself. And now, as a parent or as a guide, and we need to understand, okay, what exactly are they talking about? We need to be able to answer in their context so that we don't answer the wrong, we don't say the wrong things and confuse them even more. Okay. So we need to find out exactly what the question is. And not just that, we should be ready to give honest answers. Don't just wave them off. Give honest answers. Tell the answers exactly as they are so that they can come back next time. Okay, another thing is that we should be real. We should be able to dispel myths and rumors. Gone are the days where we tell children that when they, or girls, that when they are being touched by the opposite sex, they get pregnant. Gone are those days. Children already know more than that. Okay, so we need to be real with them. We need to dispel myths and rumors. There are a lot of things actually going on around, and we need to call them out as they are and let them know the truth. Now, the only reason we have fake, the only reason we have fake is because there's actually an original version of it. So the only reason that we see that sex is being, you made to seem as something bad is actually because it was created to be good. It's actually a good thing. But because of the kind of world that we are living in a in a fallen world, because of that, it's now made to seem like it is bad. But no, it is not. We need to let these children understand that see, this is good. But there is something better than just being good, but using that good thing at the right time to your own advantage. Okay, so we're going to also be looking at empowering your children. We're going to look at empowering your children. Now, we need to let these kids know that they deserve to feel honored in their relationships. Let them know that they deserve their own, like that they are their own individuals, that they deserve to be loved, and they deserve every good thing that comes their way. The reason a lot of people undergo, say, sexual abuse, you know, these sexual predators, they prey on the ignorance of the children. They make them feel like, oh, they may not be good enough, or let me do this for you. You're going to actually be a better person, or nobody loves you. So I'm the only one that loves you. But when you empower a child, they'll be able to know the truth. They'll be able to know the truth,
Yeah.
good from bad. That way, they'll be able to dispel.
Yeah.
When somebody comes to them with the wrong thing, they'll say, no, I know this truth. I know who I am. I know what I am worth. So you cannot come and tell me something wrong. I hope you are following. Okay. And now the importance of this is that to ensure that our children and our wards are comfortable and have a healthy self-esteem. And now this way, they are going to open up more easily. Okay, another thing is setting positive expectations. Now, just as I said before, positive expectations. Don't let them feel like everything about sex is bad. It is actually good. Let them know that they deserve it, but at the right time. Let them know that it is actually good at the right time. Okay, my nephew wants to, I think he wants to continue the lecture with us. All right. So, just as I was saying, let them know that they deserve good things. And another really important point is, we talked about being real before, calling out their body parts as they are. Don't be shy to talk about their sexual organs like their breast, their vagina. It shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. No, let them feel very comfortable talking about it. That way they won't be awkward. And okay, just while talking about awkwardness, in the last class, we had a question about, oh, what if this child feels awkward talking about sex? Now, remember earlier on we talked about having this conversation early in life and more often. If this conversation it shouldn't be, oh, let us have the big talk. It should be something that is often, as much as possible. When we have this talk as much as possible, it's not awkward anymore. They don't feel as if, oh, there has to be a big, it does not, it's not a big deal anymore. It's now a normal conversation. So nobody is afraid to talk. Nobody is scared to say anything, so that the other party will not feel offended. To me, am I sure my mother will be okay talking to me, for me talking to her about this, or my dad? They should be okay. Make them comfortable talking about it. Bring it up in everyday conversations. Listen to what they are saying. Ask them about school. Ask them what they did. Ask them everything that you feel you should know. And when it is done that way, it wouldn't be a big deal for them to talk about things that may actually pertain to them, or talk about, or ask questions that they may have. Okay, another thing is gaining mastery over their bodies. Gaining mastery over their bodies. We need to educate our children that as they grow, excuse me, okay, that as they
Okay.
grow,
Okay.
their bodies change. As they grow, their bodies change. And it's very important that they should understand that these changes are normal. And it is not, the changes are not bad. Okay, excuse me for that. The changes are not bad, they are very normal, and they should actually be celebrated. You shouldn't make them feel like they are bad, or things are going wrong in their body because they feel attracted to the opposite sex. No, let them
Okay.
understand that it's normal and help them go through it with proper guidance. If you actually help them go through with proper guidance, they would understand better how to manage their emotions, how to manage these hormones when they come. Teach them practical ways to gain mastery over their body and their emotions, and this empowers them. Another thing which is very important, I think we have 3 more minutes, so I'm going to rush through this. Another thing which is very important is that their safety is non-negotiable. No matter what, their safety is non-negotiable. Set a standard for protecting them from the dangers of the wrong kind of sex. As a Christian, for me, it is any form of sex outside marriage. So let them know the dangers of it. And I remember I said earlier, speaking about the whys, when they know why, it's easier for them to make sound decisions, better decisions. And it also helps them know that they can come to you for help if something goes wrong. Even if they make mistakes, children are liable to make mistakes, people are liable to make mistakes. Let them know that they can come to you for help. Now, when we talk about children, no, I'm not talking about only little children. This is from the ages of, let me say, from when they can understand things. And there are different ways to talk about them. And it's very important to respect their intelligence. The way you talk to a 2-year-old is not the same way you talk to a 17-year-old. I think I said this at the beginning. It's not the same way you talk to a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old. So you also need to respect their intelligence. Talk to them in the way that they understand. Let them feel very comfortable. Let them know that, okay, I actually know what you're talking about. I actually know what you're going through, and I'm here to help you. I'm not here to judge you or whatever. I don't think that what you're going through is bad, no, but I want to educate you. I want to help you make better choices. I want you to be very comfortable in your own skin. Teach them about their bodies. Let them be comfortable in their own skin. When they are, it will be more difficult for them to be deceived by by every other thing that may come around them. So they'll be able to understand their foundation is strong, they are better people, and most importantly, the society is better from it. The charity begins at home. When
Yeah.
the right information is passed from the home, the society is better. The
Yeah.
person in the home, family becomes better, and then they go out to their schools, also giving the right information. And at the end of the day, everybody's better, everybody's happy, society is better. I usually say that when people talk about leaders, people talk about things that are going wrong, like, oh, our leaders are bad, maybe the educational system is bad. Well, no, I'm saying no. Start from your own place. What are you doing as an individual? How are you trying to make it better? We talk, like I think a few months ago, and even recently, talking about the issue of rape because it had actually been on the high rise. Now, if this has actually been settled from the family, if this has been settled from childhood, that if these men have been taught that, okay, yes, you may have urges, but you can actually control them. If they had been taught all these issues that we are having, it wouldn't have been as much as this. So I believe and I hope that we are able to actually put these into practice and be open minded to teach the younger generation the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Ma. I think in less than 20 minutes, you've said a whole lot. Yeah, and it's very true. It's not fixed. Parents should also understand the uniqueness of each child and, flow along. Know how your child works and flow along. Thank you so much. I think in quite a short time, you said a whole lot. For me, I would say right timing is as important as the conversation itself. Creating an awkward environment while talking about sex or sexuality is super, super awkward. So thank you very, very much, ma'am. Okay, after seeing how to talk to children about sex, doing this, we are trying to prevent some things from happening in the future, trying to groom parents or to be parents to prevent certain things from happening in the future. But then we cannot deny the fact that a lot of us did not get proper sexual orientation. And as a result of this, we've been abused or we've abused other people. When they talk about abuse, don't think about a guy abusing a girl. Don't that it's bigger than that. A lot of people have been abused by ladies, funny enough. And the one for ladies is so quiet because sometimes there's little or no evidence, but a lot of people have been abused by ladies. So when we talk about abuse, we're talking about a man abusing a woman or a woman abusing a man, or even sometimes you've even abused your own self. So a lot of people have gone through this. Some of them, struggling to heal, but the truth remains that most times the scars just happen to stay. So why trying to create a better future? How also can we deal with the matter at hand? 717 rape or child abuse cases from January to May. Talk more of May to August. How do we prepare? Okay, it has happened. What do we do? It has happened. Okay, so what next? How do we live with what has happened? And to do this, I have Mrs. Becky Ibrahim, the king's daughter. Ma, I'm very grateful and I appreciate the fact that you accepted this invitation. Thank you very much, Ma, for making yourself available. I've gone through some of your posts on Facebook and I like what I see. And I'd like you to relate some of these things with us. How do people who have gone through, some of this sexual abuse and all of that, how do they deal with what has happened? Ma, over to you. Okay. But I don't think you're audible. Mm-mm. No. Okay. Okay, so it's fine. But while we wait for Mrs. Becky to actually fix her sound, her audio, I believe it will come up soon. Whenever it's ready, ma, just let me know. Just signal me. Ma, Inumidu, there have been some questions while you were teaching. So many of them and so many comments while you were teaching. And I like to ask here some of the questions. Even before now, I'd actually put it up on my social media platforms that whoever has questions concerning this topic should, indicate. And I had some indications. So let's just go ahead answering some of these questions while we wait. Okay, here's one. Should this sex communication be father to his son slash or mother to daughter or the other way around? Okay. Okay. So I'll wait for her. Miss Becky, are you ready? No, maybe no, maybe you can just leave the earpiece and speak directly. Mm-mm. Okay, speak. Okay. No, not yet. Okay, so while we wait for Mrs. Becky. Okay, I think I heard you for a while, Mrs. Becky. Okay, so I'll wait for Mrs. Becky. Ma Inumidu. No. Ma Inumidu. Should this sex communication be father to his son slash mother to his daughter or the other way around?
Okay, it doesn't have to be. There is no 10 guidelines in talking to your
Yeah,
children. It doesn't have to be father to son or mother to
yeah.
daughter. As long as the child is able to understand you, it's fine. You are the child's parents. I believe you can be able to talk to them regardless of their gender.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's so true. Like, what if you're a single parent and you have a child who is the opposite sex? Certainly, you have to still have this conversation with them. So, of course, I completely agree with that. Okay, so Mrs. Becky, no, no, no. Okay, okay, so while we wait, we can still keep answering other questions. Okay, okay, I can't. There's a question here. Wow. Okay, there's this question here, but I think it's from Miss Becky. Okay. Mm, okay. Ooh, okay. Ma'am Eunice, I would love to teach my children now. I know how to go about it after listening, but I do not know what to say. Okay, so Miss Inumidu, is there anything you have to say first then?
Okay, just as I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a big deal. Ensure that you're able to speak to them regularly about, and I'm not talking about maybe speaking to them about sex. No, I'm talking about having regular conversations with them, everyday conversations with them. When you have regular conversations with them like this, they are able to open up about any other thing. They are able to open up about anything and everything, and then you can bring up the topic. Okay, so about the things to say, as I said, it's not a okay, come, sit down, I want to talk to you about sex. No, it doesn't always have to be like that. Everyday conversation, just make sure that they are comfortable. Listen to them, ask them questions, and let them ask questions. You can ask questions about, oh, what does this part of my body do? You know, as they are growing, girls grow, guys, boys also develop, puberty, all these things happen. Let them know, okay. Or when they ask questions, just be able to answer them. Be honest, be open about it. Talk to them about their body. Let them understand what each part of their body is used for. You can start from there, and then you can go on from there. I believe that answers your question, Levi. Blessing. Come and see. Okay, so I think I have another question here. And one of the questions was like, how do you talk to an already sexually active child, an already sexually active young person? How do you talk to them? Or how do you think they're going to act? Well, the first thing which is very important to note is that always be open. Don't be quick to judge them. Don't be quick to escalate. You know, we like to escalate a lot in this part of Africa that we are. So
Yeah.
it's very important that we listen to them and we ensure not to escalate at first. I know as an African parent, you want to jump and like, no, why this is wrong and everything. Yes, we already know it is wrong. Just like I said earlier, I said something earlier about letting them know those. If you make it even more important that okay, this is beautiful, sex is good and all of that, let them know why they should wait. Let
Yeah.
them know why. Don't just tell them, don't do it. You know, when you tell somebody not to do something, all they want to do is that thing you told them not to do. So let them know that you, first of all, that you accept them, whatever it is that they've done, even though they may have made a mistake. Let them know that yes, they made a mistake, but they made a decision, and they shouldn't be ashamed of the decision that they have made. But let them understand that okay, they may have made a bad decision, but there's a better way to go about it. There's a better way to think.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Ma. I had a very serious network glitch, but then good thing I'm back. So just keep answering questions while we wait for Mrs. Becky. But then Mrs. Becky, I think you can attempt connecting with a phone. If your system is giving you issues, you can try connecting with a phone. Okay, I have other questions here. Um, okay, but before then, Miss Becky, did you hear me? Okay, I think she's setting up. Okay, so here's a question. What if my child naturally feels awkward? Okay, Miss Beck, were you saying something? Okay. What if my child naturally feels awkward about such conversation? Okay, so my numidu. Okay, I think no, my you can try connecting with a phone. If your system is having issues, you can try connecting with a phone. Yes, you can try connecting with a phone. Okay, if your child naturally feels awkward, talking or discussing about sex, then I think at some point you have created that awkward feeling or that awkward environment. So you have to make him feel free. It is your responsibility to make him feel free. Then there was a question that my enemy was answering while I had network glitches where I think said I don't know what to teach my children. The truth is this is a generation of knowledge. If you teach children wrong things, they will find out. So you have to go for the knowledge. There's YouTube, there's Google. Get the knowledge for yourself. If you know, then you could pass on to your children because the truth is you cannot pass on things you cannot give out what you don't have. So you have to get the knowledge for yourself first. So if you don't know what or you don't have the right answers yet to questions, then start searching. If you're already a parent, start searching. You don't have time again. But if you're a parent to be, then you still have a little time to gain all the knowledge you need to gain in the world. And as long as what you're passing to your children is accurate information, it would stand the test of time. So you don't pass on to them information based on your feelings or even your experience. Sorry to say, we are going to be passing on to them only what is true. Okay. While we wait for Miss Becky, I'll still ask other questions. Okay. Mm, there's this question here that I'm waiting to ask, but it's for Miss Becky. I'm waiting earnestly to ask. Okay, here's a question. Eunice, few days on your status, you said children can start learning about sex from the age of 2. How is that possible? Don't you think it is too soon? Mm, okay. It depends on what you know about telling children about sex. That will depend on how you feel it's too soon. No, just like in the case of food, when a child is born, they cannot start eating rice or swallow. No, there's a particular type of food that they can eat at that time. That's the same way sex talk is. So you give the child what he can take at the time. It's very possible we're starting with, just as she said, as Mainumidu said when she was talking about how to talk to children about sex. It's very possible to start with. It's very possible to start with okay, telling them about the different parts of their body, telling them the uses of the different parts of their body. So Mainumidu, do you have anything to add to this answer? Okay. So there's another question. There are more questions. I believe they're having network glitches and they'll be back. But then we can keep answering questions. Okay. There's this question here that is wow. Okay, Miss Eunice, don't you think saying we should teach children about sex is like telling parents to read a romantic novel to them? Mm, no, it's not. If all you know about sex is what a romantic novel has to explain or has to say about sex, then there is something wrong with your knowledge about sex. You need to know more. You need to, try to broaden your horizon about sex, because if all you know about sex is romantic novel like, then your knowledge is vague. Improve on yourself. No, it's not. So get more knowledge. That's what I have to say. Okay. So there's a question here I'm also seeing that I think, let me just start with answering it. Then maybe when, okay. So what if your child was molested by another child? The truth is, I understand this question. What if your child is molested by another child? It happens. I can relate. But then I think both children need orientation. They are growing up, they are beginning to experience things. Their sexual organs are beginning to mature. So they are trying out things on each other. So if probably your child opens up to you, or if you also, if you probably maybe you see them doing such, you need to call both children and relate with them, talk to them, and let them know why it is wrong. Especially your child, especially your child. That's even if they're of the same age category. But if one person in this case is way older, say maybe a child of 12 years molesting a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old, then something is wrong, because at the age of 12 at least, you should have been wiser. So if that happens, then that that 12-year-old child needs proper brain. You have to debunk a lot of things that child knows and teach him the right kind of things, and then inform your child to stay away. Even if you've spoken to two of them, inform your child to stay away. Your child is very important to you. Your child is super important. Okay, I think I've seen this question. How do you? Okay, the other questions here, but truth is, they are from Mrs. Becky, but I think we'll just go on answering them. There's nothing wrong. Let's talk a little about handling or dealing with molestation. A lot of people have been molested, no doubt. But the truth is, it has happened. It has. And if you decide to keep living with it and keep hurting yourself, then you be doing yourself a great disfavor. Try. Let it go. put it in the past. There are so many books you could actually read to help you let go. There are thousands of one of them. I've seen there's this book, Forgetting the Past, and there are so many books you can actually read to help yourself forget. You have to learn to forgive. Whether that person is there to apologize or not, forgive. Not because of the person, but for your own peace of mind. Forgive and let go. And then a lot of after molestation, you feel you have fear, you feel emotionally down, and all of that. It is normal. Don't rush yourself to heal. Just allow yourself, give it time. Surround yourself with the right kind of people. There's nothing as important as that. Surround yourself with people who would actually understand what you're going through and relate with it. Okay, we have Mrs. Becky back on screen. So let's see, let's add her.
Can you hear
Okay,
me now?
yes. Okay. So let's hear from Miss Becky, ma. Okay, back to you. How do we deal with molestation after it has happened? Okay, we have 20 minutes, ma. Okay. Over.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, molestation, as we all know, is it concerns both the boys and the girls, right?
Yes.
And we know that is an if, okay. My the other speaker has spoken about how we can avoid it, how we can teach our children not to be molested or to understand what sexual abuse is or what is not. And okay, now it has happened. So what next? We need to understand that many people, develop mental conditions after they're being molested. That is, it's is a condition that affects their mind, affects them emotionally, psychologically, physically. If you are raped as a child, you will have injuries. You've lost your virginity. You will lose your virginity, and then it's traumatic in your mind. You go through a lot of mindset issues because of the sexual abuse. There are so many reasons why, and then this effect of sexual abuse, and it varies from persons to person. That is the after effects. It varies from persons to persons.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, ma.
All right. It varies from persons to person. Some people, based on the age at which the sexual abuse happened, some people heal faster, some people it doesn't show so much, and then it's also based on the intensity of the effect of the abuse. Some it's molestation, some is harassment, some is rape, outright rape, some is attempted rape. So depending on the particular aspect of sexual abuse, they are all abuse. So depending on the particular aspect of the abuse, it has its own rating. It affects individually differently. Some people, okay, and we all know that, okay, if it's as a child, the effect as a child is more than the effect as an adult. And
Mm-hmm.
the way a child will handle it is different from the way an adult will handle it.
Yes, ma.
So the child, as a child, we have the child is should I say is embarking on, or should I say is depending on the parents to help them up, to help them, heal
Yeah.
faster and quicker. But the adults, you don't most adults don't have people around to be able to help them to heal faster,
Yes, ma.
because one of the things that helps people that go through traumatic experience like this is a show of love, care, and attention. um wow, sorry, my battery is almost going down.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No,
Give
no,
me a
it's fine.
second.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Okay. Okay. So while we wait for her to come back on board, my new middle, there was this question that was asked. I think I gave it a little answer, but I'd still like to hear what you have to say. So here it is. What if your child is molested by another child? So what do you have to say about that? Okay, Ma.
Okay, what if your child is molested by another
Yes.
child? Now, let's just believe that the other child didn't know better.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, so it is not just now. It is not about the child, the other child who was molested. Now, I remember I said something about empowering your children,
Yes.
letting them know who they are. Now, now that this has happened, you cannot go back to the past and erase it. It's
Yes.
very important that you let them know that okay, a mistake has happened. How do I get how do I move on from this? Just make them know who they are. Ensure that they are empowered. Ensure that they
Okay.
know better. And they're able to, people make a lot of mistakes sometimes because they don't know. Now, this child who molested the other one, as I said, he probably didn't know better. So let us make sure that that the children that are coming behind them, they know better, so that we can
Yes.
prevent other ones from happening. And they said
Yes.
some things have happened before. History is there so that we can know and we can learn from it, so that we don't repeat the same things. Now it is
Okay.
not just about the other, because the other person who did that may also be feeling bad, or even worse.
Yes.
So it's not just to also condemn the person. You are the one who did wrong, so you are also here to be condemned and all that. No, let them know better. Information is power, knowledge is power. So
Yes.
when we inform them the right things and teach them, I
Yes.
believe they'll be able to know better. And we
Yeah.
can move on from
Okay.
there.
Thank you very much, Ma. Don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It is just down below, and turn on the bell notification icon for updates. And if you're watching on Facebook, remember to like the page. And if I can only see your comments if you are watching directly on Think Right Initiative page. That's the only time I can see your comment. Okay, don't forget, keep creating watch parties because we still have more content coming up. So, Miss Becky, okay,
Okay.
start
All right.
ready.
Okay. So, are you there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, many people it differs from persons to person.
Yeah.
Childhood experiences from adult experiences, they all go through it differently emotionally. And because they have the parents as a child to look after you, to ensure that they give you the right perspective of what has happened. So some children tend to heal faster. Some of them don't put it to heart. But you see, some parents don't know any better. So you find out that some parents don't handle the cases the way they're supposed to handle it. Why? Because they don't even understand. They too, they're in shock. One thing we should bear in mind is that sexual abuse, whether it's the boy or it's the girl, it affects not just the victim, it affects the family, it affects the friends, it affects the society at large, it affects everyone involved. People tend to feel like it's just the sexual abuse. No, it's the life of the person that has been altered. The life of an individual has been altered, and it takes the grace of God for that person to heal and begin to move on. One thing that happens to individuals that go through sexual abuse is the stigmatization. Many people tend to find it difficult to understand that, wait, this thing has happened. It's just like an accident. Somebody you are driving on the road and then you have an accident. And the first thing people will say, why didn't you look right? Why didn't you look left? Or what happened? They begin to blame you why you have the accident. First of all, you should thank God that you are alive. You are not dead. You didn't, you're not dead. As in some people abuse you to insult, to kill you, but it didn't result to that. You're still alive. So, and life continues. Life does not end after the abuse. Life has to continue. The
Yes, ma'am.
Bible says that there's no temptation that has befallen you that is not common to man. So that means Sexual abuse is part of the temptation, it's that part of the trials that men go through. You know, if you didn't go through sexual abuse, definitely in your life you went through one problem or the other. You are not exempted. And the fact that somebody went through an abuse, you should not stigmatize the person, you should not blame the person, you should not judge the person. What happened to him can happen to any other person. Yes, I went through sexual abuse, but somebody else will go through an accident and maybe lose a leg or lose a limb or something, or lose an eye, or lose, a default. There's a default. And that person needs to live with it, needs to understand. See, yes, you've lost an eye, but you have the other eye. You need to be able to develop strategies on how to survive this earth with the other eye. It's the same thing with sexual abuse. It has happened, but you can. And then there's so many things that come with sexual abuse. Many people lose their sense of meaning. They have, like, should I say, there are many things that people go through sexually. I mean, the after effect of sexual abuse, that it's so demeaning. People go through depression. People go through post-traumatic stress disorder. They go through pain. They go through, should I say, fear, shock. I can remember when I went through, I had my own episodes as a child. You can imagine the shock I had. That's the first thing you should understand. People went through shock, as in the shock as a result of, as a result of, you are not expecting it. This is somebody that is supposed to be protecting you. People that are supposed to be watching out for you are the same person, taking advantage of you. So it goes so much. It goes so, it's so effective. It affects the mind. It affects the mind so much that, one lives in shock. Practically, I was in shock for a long time. I was in shock. Anybody that comes near me, I'm like afraid that something is going to happen. Something's going to happen. So you see, people are living in shock. They live in fear. They live in anxiety, guilt, symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. They live in denial. Some people tend to pretend that it didn't happen. No, but it happened. Sorry, it happened. They try to pretend it never happened, but it happened. People are confused. People go through confusion. People go through, withdrawal stage. They withdraw, they dissociate themselves from society because of lack of self-esteem, lack of confidence. They feel like, okay, they feel battered. They feel like they are not good enough. They are not adequate. They feel like, the best part of them has been taken away. So it's difficult for them to be able to, associate with people. That kind of thing. So some people go through grief. They go through a grieving situation that is really very tormenting. And it's okay. It's okay to go through your grieving situation. It's okay to grieve. It's when you live in denial. You feel like, it didn't happen. It happened. Grieve it. It's just like you lost someone. You grieve it. You grieve. Why? Something has been taken away. You've been disadvantaged. Somebody has tried to to molest you. Somebody has tried. No, but some people went all the way to even rape you. It's happened. So don't live in denial. Just accept that it happened. Okay, so it has happened. Now what next? Understand that people go through a lot of things. People go through challenges. People go through a lot, but we need to find a way to cope and move on. One greatest thing, what should I say, one ultimate thing that happens to individuals that go through this kind of traumatic experience is that they remain stuck in life. They remain stuck in life. They are finding it difficult to move on. They find it difficult to go past the situation they went through. You will still see some people in their 80s, still people in their 60s, still living in their 10 years. They're living in 20s, living, as a teenager. You see them, they still behave like children. Why? Because they are still seeing themselves, they have been, when they went through that situation as a child, they've been locked up there. They find it difficult to move fast. One of the reasons why they find it difficult to move fast is because they did not heal. They have not gotten the opportunity to heal from what happened to them. And one of the reasons why they were not able to heal is because they were not able to express what happened to them. Fear of the unknown, fear of stigmatization, fear of judgment, fear of, blames here and there, accusation. Oh, what are you doing there? What took you there? All those things. So people, they feel like keeping it to themselves. Okay, they kept it to themselves, but they have not healed from. The Bible, there's a saying that says an open wound heals faster. It heals faster. So many people have not gone, even in their what's it called, most of the cases you see today, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and also many things that people use to think that to maim some problems, is because of such kind of things. These issues you went through as a child or as an adult, you begin to gain access, you accept some things into your life. Why? Just so that you feel like you name the problem, you want to name the pain. But it's a continuous. Yes, the pain will be named for a season, but after then it wears up and you have to go back to it again. So you see, one thing we need to do is to look into the problem. The problem is, drug abuse is not the problem. Alcoholism is not the problem. It's the alcohol. Those are issues that people. Those are, should I say, attitudes that people use to just hide some particular thing. And the society doesn't know, their family doesn't know, because they've not been given the opportunity to air it. They've not been given the opportunity to air it. So it continues and continues. This same set of individuals, they get married and then abuse their spouses, abuse their children. How? By because when people are aggressive, somebody that is bitter, angry, those are signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. They are, you are so small little thing makes you angry. Those are signs that you need to watch out, to realize that there's something you need to heal from. There's something you need to heal from. You don't just accept, okay, that is how I am, that's how I was, that's how I grew up. I grew up angry. No, you didn't grow up angry. Nobody was born angry. Nobody was born bitter. Nobody was born, with alcohol, with drugs and all that. The causes are underlying issues, underlying beliefs. Because the experience you went through really is not that is not even the problem. Everyone goes through experiences. Do we accept that it is okay? No, we don't. We don't accept that what you went through is okay. We never will. And if it's possible that we get the culprit and nip the culprit, it's good. Nobody blames it. But you see, life continues. The experiences you went through, that should not be the end. It is the interpretation we give to those experiences. The Bible says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What the experiences we go through, what it does to us is to conform us. Is to conform us to believing that we are not loved, believing that we are not beautiful, believing that we are inadequate, believing so many wrong things. That is what your experiences lead you, make you to believe of yourself. They conform you to some negative mindset that I am not good enough. I am not good enough. I cannot be this. I cannot be that. Well, you see, God's masterpiece. Praise the Lord. Sorry. We are God's master. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. We are God's masterpiece. And we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus unto good works. Praise the Lord. And the thing is, we shouldn't make ourselves conform to what life gives to us. That is what the Bible says. You should renew your mind. Renewal of your mind. Everything I have to say today is in the Bible, because me, I'm a believer of the Word of God. He said, renew your mind, because don't be conformed to this world. There's chances that whatever you go through as a child, it will make you get conformed. You will conform to it. What you went through is telling you you are not good. But what does the Bible say? The Bible says you are good. You are priceless. You are precious. Despite what you went through, does not mean what you went through does not define you. What defines you is the word of God. The word of God says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. For a long time, I believed that I wasn't good enough. For a long time, I believe I wasn't beautiful. You know, when they say I'm beautiful, I look into the mirror and say, what? I don't see it. Why? Because of what I went through as a child. For a long time, I couldn't, I was so withdrawn. I won't be doing this. I won't be doing what I'm doing now years ago. Why? Because I didn't believe. I don't like public. Why? Because of what I went through. I was scared. I was living in fear. I was living in, denial. But you see, the word of God does not fail. We need to sit down with the word to renew our mind, because that's the best I can tell you. It's not easy. It's not easy to go through pain. It's not easy. It's like having a sharp object, piercing you through the skins, through your body. It's not easy. You feel the pain. If you are not feeling the pain, then there's something wrong. But you see, human beings don't understand. Humanity in general does not understand how to treat you. Because if they know your value, they know your worth, they will treat you better. Masmuros once said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. They don't know the purpose of a child, so they abuse. They don't know the purpose of you, they abuse you. They will just naturally abuse you. Yes, that's the best. They don't understand how to treat you. Why? Because they don't know who you are. They don't know your value. But you see, them not knowing your value, them not knowing who you are, is not even the problem. You don't need to start explaining who you are or to them. That is not a problem. It is, do you know who you are? That's the major problem. Do you know who you are? Do you know your value? Do you have an understanding of the greatness God has packaged you to be? Because if you don't know what you are, who you are, what you carry, what you represent to God and what you represent to humanity, anything anybody says, you accept it. They abuse you because they feel you want to gain control. But what do you say to yourself? What do you say to yourself? Will you accept that, that you're not good enough? Is that what you're going to accept? Don't accept it, because if you accept it, it limits you. You won't be able to go past that situation. But you see, you need to go past where you are. And one reason why you need to go past, one of the ways that you need to go past where you are to where God wants you to be, is to forgive. Many people don't like hearing this. They feel they are strong to hold on. It's strength. It's God-given strength for them to hold on to people or to pain or to the past. You see, that is not where the strength lies. The strength lies in letting go. Let go. A popular speaker said, a ship does not sail with yesterday's wind. A ship cannot sail with yesterday's wind. You need a wind every blessed day to take that ship from one position to the other. You look for yesterday's wind. So it's the same thing with us today. We cannot move our destinies from point A to point B, looking at the rear mirror. You need to look forward. That is why the front view of the car is larger than the rear mirror. If you constantly keep looking back at what happened to you yesterday, you will have another accident that might even result in the loss of your life.
Yes. Okay, Ma, we have
accept
5 more
what
minutes.
happens to you. Okay. So accept what happens to you. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Forgive the situation that you went through. You are not defined by your past. What happened to you has no rule of your today. It has no rule of your tomorrow. Take charge. Come to a position, a time where you understand. See, life has to go on, and you don't have the whole of eternity to be moping around, thinking that those people that offended you will come around you to say, "You're sorry, we are sorry. We didn't know what we didn't." They will not come.
Yes.
If they come, thank God. But if they don't come, see, take your life into your hands and take charge, take responsibility. If you
Yes.
don't know it, then is you understand you don't know it. But you now know that your life, your destiny, or should I say how to orchestrate your life, it is you that will channel the course of your life, not somebody else.
Yes, ma.
Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay.
ma. Wow.
I don't know. I
Wow.
think I've said enough.
Thank you very
I've
much,
said
ma.
enough.
You've said a lot in very few
Yeah.
minutes. I could practically relate to everything you were saying. Thank you very, very much, ma. Okay, ma, we have questions for you. Okay, I'll start with the questions we got in from yesterday. Oh my God, I think network just moved her off. Okay, whatever it is, we'll go on answering the questions. Okay, we'll answer the questions. Okay, okay, she's back on. So just quickly add her. Okay. Okay, Ma, we have questions for you. Okay, okay, okay. This is not a question. The only consolation to someone who has been abused is to be sure the culprit is punished. Okay, but I don't know. Ma, what do you have to say?
Well, in a society where this the culprit is
Mm,
being found and then being judged and sentenced, it's good. Nobody is saying that it should not happen, but many people have lived their lives because the culprit has not been punished, and they're still holding on to it. They're still holding on to it. Why? Because they believe that by the culprit being punished, they get their happiness. See,
yeah,
your happiness is not tied whether that guy is being punished or not. If the society gets to punish him, fine. But if the society doesn't get to punish him, see, you have your life. Move on. Move on, believing and trusting that one day his or she is going to be punished. But that should not affect your today. Don't allow the broken pieces of yesterday affect your today. Also, that because your today is great, your tomorrow is greater. Don't allow it.
yes. Okay, Ma,
Yeah.
here's a question. This one. How do I forgive a mother who, when I told I was molested, called me a harlot? I'm older now, but I still feel the hurt. It's hurtful. Okay, but what do you have to say?
Okay, so concerning this, I will believe that she hasn't forgiven. Okay, she said she has not forgiven those, so she needs to forgive. You know, she should understand that her mother is human. As I said, human beings are not perfect. They only treat you the way they understand how. If a human being, if a mother knows what her child is going to be in future, no mother would throw a child in the dustbin. No
Yes.
abortion will go on. But because the child is still in a package, it's still packaged inside a gift wrap, and you don't understand the true value identity of that child, they don't handle it with care. They don't understand. And they treat you based on how they too were treated. If you sit with your mother, you will understand that life wasn't easy for her. She might have gone through her own case that she's not able to tell you. So most mothers that went through that same things like that, she has her own issues she's dealing with. And as a child, whatever mothers tell you as to tell you as a child, please don't take it to heart. They don't know any better. And it's not as if they
Okay.
hate you. They don't hate you. It's just that they don't have an idea of how to brandish, or should I say, galvanize you to glory.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
That's
so
it.
much,
Yeah.
ma. Thank you. Okay. I think this is the last question we'll take. Okay, ma, while answering this question, if there's any other thing you would like to say in just a minute, while answering this question, you could just say it. Okay, ma'am, what do I do? I was molested. I've forgiven, but the memories keep coming.
Okay, so this person is going through a lot of pain. This person went through a lot of pain during this molestation, went through a lot of pain. Yeah. She has forgiven, but the reason why she has not healed from it. So she has flashbacks. These are called flashbacks. And when you have flashbacks coming, you have like, you see it as if it's happening to you right there. So some people begin to have this kind of fear, kind of scare, fear that it's happening to them, anxiety and, distress. They have some stress, feeling, experiencing these issues again, coming over and over. So this kind of person needs to reach out to someone. You need to reach out. I don't know who you have spoken to about it. You have kept this to yourself perhaps, but you need to air it out. You need to find somebody to a therapist. You need to go through a therapist. You see, one thing I used to tell people, I said, when somebody is sick, you go to the doctor, they will give you Panadol or, diagnose you with malaria treatment and all that. But you see, your mind is sick. You need to go through therapy, somebody that will not judge you, somebody that will not stigmatize you, somebody that will hear and listen to you and encourage you and affirm you that you are good all by yourself. God has made you good. And then concerning those things, concerning that particular individual, I will advise, find out, look, pay attention to what triggers those memories. Because there are sometimes you go through some things that trigger those memories. Is it an old friend, or is it a particular, find out, and then find out, see how you can begin to avoid all those things that trigger those memories. It will
Yeah.
go a long way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ma, there are so many questions coming in, but there's this one I just projected, and I think needs to be answered. In the instance where the culprit is a family member or close friend, where the victim is still where the victim still maybe this sees the person, what should be done? I think this one needs to be answered. As so, ma, what do you have to say?
Okay, so you see, let me tell you the truth. Most sexual molestation or abuse, most of it, like almost 90%, happens with people people in the
Yes.
family, people, brothers, sisters, cousin, uncle, or domestic staff and everything. People that are close to you, people that you entrusted, entrusted yourself to them. See, if it happened and it is a family member and it is happening now, or it happened just yes, you better say it. Why? Because that particular person is a family member. That person needs to go through therapy too. Why did he do it? Why? What happened to him? Because if he's not, spoken to or helped, he will do it to somebody else. So you're not doing him a good, you are doing him a disservice if you don't open up. There's nothing there that has happened. The worst they can do to you is say, hey, it's a lie. But you have voiced out. Do you understand? Let
Yes.
them say, yeah, it didn't happen, or let the person like say, you're lying to him, or your members of your family don't believe you. It's okay, but you have done your best to say this is what happened, and that is it. Move on.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. Okay, my Numidu, just in less than a minute, is there any other thing you'd like to add or say? Okay.
Okay, I think most of them have already been said. Thank you, Mrs. Becky. I really learned a lot from
Yeah.
your session. And just as had been said before, one thing that is very important, as I said earlier, is that knowledge is power. When we know, we'll be able to fix a lot of things that have gone wrong. So we as young people, we as parents to be, or as people who are already parents, let us empower ourselves with knowledge. That way, we can help the upcoming generation. And things are going to be better, much more better than they are right now.
Thank you very much, Miss Becky.
Thank
In
you.
less than a minute, is there any other thing you'd like to add?
Um, all I need to say is that if you're going through or you've been through situations like this, understand that to forgive is divine. To forgive is divine. I'm not saying that okay, don't don't remember the past. See, there is no way you will not remember. I'm not saying you should not remember or forget the past, forget that it never happened. No, the past is part of your life. That's happened, but you is still part of you. If you're writing your biography, you will still have to write that so happened, blah blah blah, But don't allow when you remember the past, how does it affect you? Learn to see it as a testimony. Learn to see it as you've been healed. The fact that you are alive shows that you are a victor, you are a survivor. So operate on that. Remember Jesus when he told the guy that was lying down at the pool of Bethesda, he said, when he healed him, he said, stand up, pick up your mat and begin to walk. Pick up your mat and begin to walk. If you sit down there, your life, your potential that you carry would be dormant. But pick up that mat, pick up that thing, that place, pick up that mat that signified where they have kept you, where they have abandoned you, where they have left you, and carry it up as a testimony. Showcase and tell people, this is where I used to lie down, but I'm no more there anymore. This is where I am now. God has delivered me. I am a victor, and so you should also be there in that position too. God bless you
Thank you so
for
much.
listening.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Like Ma Inumidu, Mrs. Becky, you've both added great value, so much value. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for availing yourself. The whole, I know probably you've all had a busy day. Thank you for being present. I sincerely appreciate your presence and everything you've said. It's superb. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are coming to the end of this broadcast. If you've been watching from the beginning till now, you've done well, and I'm pretty sure value has been added. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you've been molesting a child or you've been molested, maybe if you've been molested, try to speak out. And if you've been molesting a child, please stop. And you're a parent, now is the time to start learning about sex. Now is the time to start gaining information, because you owe your children right information as it concerns sex and their sexuality. Okay, so thank you for watching till this time. Stay tuned. No Sustain 3.0 will be coming up in some months' time, and there's already amazing content for you. Trust me when I say that. So do stay tuned. And no, if you're interested in joining the WhatsApp group, you could just leave me a message on Messenger or on YouTube, a comment, and certainly you will be a part of it. So thank you for watching thus far. I appreciate your presence. So do stay tuned and stay healthy, and I hope you're staying safe. Thank you. Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ma. Thank you.